You're telling me you're a witch? You ain't no witch. Witches are girls.
Some are men.
So where's your broomstick? Witches fly on broomsticks.
I need no broomstick to fly.
What do you need?
Katrina Porter.
Hey, Yana Serene.
Hey, everyone out there. This is Split Happens. We're going to talk about movies the two of us have seen many times and love so very, very, very much. And one of us, that would be me today, will defend this amazing piece of cinematic art.
And I am going to nail this movie like a warlock hunter nailing a warlock's feet to the ground.
Sounds fun.
Which means...
Well, we're talking about 1989's Warlock.
Yeah, we are. Okay, I have a disclaimer, though.
Oh, I guess we should probably mention you don't have to attack anything until the synopsis actually starts.
Okay, so here's my disclaimer. Yeah. The Chiefs and the Bengals, they played in the AFC Championship today, which I watched right before this. And big Chiefs fan. Big fan. And Chiefs lost. I didn't handle it great.
No.
But I'm working through it.
I like we were at the restaurant.
Yeah.
You asked them after the game was over, very kindly, can you please turn off the TV?
Just wanted the TV off.
And she's like, okay. And then she came back and she like passively talked to you.
Like she's defusing a bomb. It's okay. We're going to turn the TV back on. It's not the same channel. But I'm a professional, so I'm fine now.
Sure.
I'm just going to drink.
Oh, hey, my disclaimer.
Yeah.
Well, we love margaritas quite a lot. And we love our local watering hole, tequila-ing hole.
Acapulco.
And they serve some absolutely massive, gigantic, delicious margaritas. Well, let's talk about Warlock. This movie was produced and directed by Steve Miner. He helped produce the original Friday the 13th.
Oh.
And then afterwards, he directed Friday the 13th Part 2 and then also Part 3.
Okay, just to be clear, we're in it now, right? So I am in attack mode?
No. Okay. Not until I get into the actual movie itself.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
But he also did House, which I really liked that movie. I don't know if you remember that one.
I remember the promo was like like a skeleton finger. It's like Ding Dong, You're Dead or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, brilliant. He also did Lake Placid, Halloween H2O. He did Soul Man, which we definitely will not be covering.
We will not.
This movie stars Julian Sands, and he's just known as the Warlock. He was in Gothic. He was in The Killing Fields. Oh, you know what else he did? He did Vibes.
With Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
One of the funniest things that Jared, who's my second youngest, has told me, have you listened to the isolated video of Jeff Goldblum laughing in Jurassic Park?
No.
The scene where they're like on the airplane.
Yeah.
There's an isolated audio of Jeff Goldblum laughing.
Oh,
Jared has shown me
Jeff
a lot
Goldblum.
of things over the years that I'm like, why did you show me this? Do you actually love me? And this is not one of those things.
He's also in Boxing Helena, which I saw. That was troublesome.
Troublesome?
Yeah, that was
is
tough to
watch. Garbage, weird movie that should never have been made.
Yeah, well, you know who else thought that was Kim Basinger, and they fucking sued her for it. This movie also has Richard E. Grant as Giles Redfern. He's a warlock hunter. He was in Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I just watched recently.
Boo.
If you want to hear a masterclass in accents, you can watch that one and just watch all the scenes with Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves.
Listen, I've got accents on my list for this movie. We'll get to it.
He was in Spice World. He was in a movie I love, L.A. Story.
Wait a second. Did you just try to slip? He was in Spice World.
Yeah.
He was in Spice World, that classic. He was nominated for an Oscar recently, within the last few years. He was in a movie with Melissa McCarthy. And Melissa McCarthy, I'm pretty sure was nominated also.
Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Oh, Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Yeah. That was a really interesting story.
Yeah, like, can I ever forgive you for bringing up boxing Helene? And the answer is no.
Spice Rolls. Okay, well, he was also in Downton Abbey. And he was in Loki. I don't know if you started getting into Loki yet, but I love it. And he's really funny.
I did get into Loki, not as much as I got into the...
WandaVision?
Well, I actually got into the other one more. The Falcon and
the
Winter Soldier. I loved that.
I love all of them. Yeah. He was also in an episode of Doctor Who called The Snowman, and it was one of my favorite ones. But we're going to go on. Okay, so let's talk about Laurie Singer. She is Cassandra with a K in this. A little bit of backstory about her. She was a musical prodigy. She made her debut as a cellist for the Oregon Symphony at 13 years old.
You could have literally said she was blank prodigy, and I would be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she's actually the youngest graduate of Juilliard.
I think she should have stuck with a cello.
She actually has a twin brother, and she has 2 older brothers, one of whom is an actor, Mark Singer. Of course, we know him better as the Beastmaster.
Are we doing Beastmaster, or is it just too bad?
I want to do Beastmaster, but you seem like not super into it, and I love ferrets. You were saying that maybe it didn't hold up super great.
Okay, pro.
You hateful hag! Oh,
that wasn't planned at all. Oh, no. I didn't lure you into that trap.
Well, she's been in. Laurie Singer was actually in quite a few different things. She was in an episode of Law and Order SVU. So this was really super awesome. Laurie Singer was also in the video for Don Johnson's Heartbeat. Okay, well, here's one better. She was in the music video for Bobby Brown's On Her Own, aka the song for Ghostbusters 2.
Love.
Yeah.
I could do all the Ghostbusters.
I could do that whole song right now.
I'd do it. I like that you've got a bucket of sugar on your desk.
What? They're fruit slices. I love them.
Shout out to Mom. You've got orange slices on your desk.
Oh, I've got my candy wine and fruit slices.
Hey, those are good.
I am drinking and eating exactly how I thought I would when I was a child.
When I grow up, I'm going to have sugar all day long. And grown-ups are like, no, you're not. And you're like, fuckers.
So there's one more person I want to talk about that's in this. We can go over it later, but it's Mary Warnernov. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. I've had some Mars, so give me a little bit of leeway. She's the fake-ass psychic.
Oh, she was in Night at the Comet, which we're doing.
Yeah, I've got that on. She's in tons of movies.
She was in the movie that I want to do that you won't do.
Chopping Mall.
Yep,
she sure was. She was actually really, really involved in the 60s with Andy Warhol.
Oh.
And in the 70s with Roger Corman. She's known as like a cult actress. But we probably know her best from Rock and Roll High School.
Of course we do.
Yeah. Love that movie. Okay, so the other things I want to real quickly talk about is that the screenplay was written by Steve Tuohy, and he did, maybe I'll say his good movies first. He did like The Fugitive.
Okay.
And he did G.I. Jane.
Love. Pro.
Bro, shit. Oh, damn it. He also did Waterworld. They completed this movie in 1988, and it was released to other countries the following year, but it kind of fell into like that release limbo that happens because New World Pictures, which had a hold of it, suffered financial problems, and it was shelved. But then it was picked up by Trimark, and it was given a limited release, and then it turned actually a bit of a success, and it became one of the company's biggest grossers.
What?
Yeah, it made like over $9 million. So, having said all of that, you ready to get in the movie?
Okay. I find this movie so entertaining. I love it.
It's so much fun.
And watching it so many years later, I'm so happy that I still loved it. And I remember I did my notes last night because I procrastinated. And I must have looked over at Ty like 12 times with like a gleeful look on my face. Like, did you fucking hear that? And everything makes Ty happy. But he was like, this movie is great.
Oh, it's so good.
But now I'm going to fucking demolish it. So
All
let's
right.
do it.
We open our movie, and the first thing we see is a cat being shoved into a basket. Aw.
Oh,
Poor kitty cats. Yeah. I have a cat.
if that was Hazel, be like,
Oh, please.
there's no basket big enough that you could fit that cat
Good luck getting
into.
my fat ass slut cat into that
Anyone
thing.
would give up. They'd be like, all right, this is not worth it.
So we see a pack of Puritans, and that must be we're in the 17th century, and these guys kind of look like they can't take a joke.
My first note is, who are these tight-ass white dudes? And couldn't they make whoever they were going to see come to them? Because that's a long-ass walk.
It is.
Why do they all have different accents and none of them are Boston accents? Or
Oh, well, I can tell you.
okay.
Because the director specifically said that because this was the 1700s and a lot of people were just getting off the boats from different countries. So he specifically did not want people with like Americanized accents. He wanted British people. He wanted Scottish people. He wanted like different accents.
Oh, so 300 years ago, we weren't prejudiced against immigrants like we are now.
They're off to get the Warlock. And meanwhile, Richard E. Grant, a.k.a. Giles Redfern, he's looking on. He doesn't seem thrilled, but his hair looks fabulous.
His hair looks like Richard Marx.
I gave him a nickname. Mm-hmm. Because he's Scottish.
Okay.
And he has a mullet.
Uh-huh.
I call him McMullet.
I'm going to refer to the Warlock as Malfoy's dad. Lucius Malfoy. He looks like Malfoy's dad.
He kind of does.
He kind of does, 100%.
The magistrates go into prison and there's 8,000 steps and the Warlock is being kept in a contraption and he's like doing it's like a standing forward bend, you know.
You're doing like the thing from Legally Blonde. What's that? The snap and...
The bend and snap.
Right.
Well, he's just bending.
There's no snap going on because his
bend.
hands are all tight. And does he have nails in his toes?
Yeah.
Seems a little excessive.
I wouldn't have been able to handle that.
Do we know what he
bend, though,
did?
but I don't yoga. Someone
Yoga.
yogas, and it's him. Well, he's sentenced to death by hanging and then also burning, and then they got to burn him over a basket of cats. Don't you think somebody in the village was like, really? This is what we're going to go with? Is like a hanging and then a burning and then cats. Nobody would bring it up because as soon as they did, they'd be like, a witch!
But they would all say it in a different accent.
A witch! Yeah, a witch! Let's hang, burn, cat them.
Like the Grinch. A witch? Oh no!
Well, they try to get him to repent, and that's funny. Maybe they can take a joke. McMullet comes in to gloat. He's still a little pissed that the Warlock killed his wife.
The CGI in this movie.
How are you getting to this already? There's no CGI yet.
Yes, there is. The
Wait.
fire and it's all bad. The CGI in this movie, and I'm saying this in the context of the time that it was in. The CGI is terrible.
You're terrible.
I don't think we should call it CGI. I think that is offensive to the letters C, G, and I.
Well, I haven't gotten to CGI yet.
Well, neither did they.
Well, McMullet tells him, like, tomorrow you're gonna die. And the Warlock's like, yeah, we'll see, Bumblebee. And that fucking attention whore Satan is making like a huge over-the-top show with like scary clouds and lightning.
lot.
And then he creates a portal for the Warlock to escape. But McMullet's like, not without my daughter, motherfucker. He goes through the portal. And then they end up in modern day, 1988.
Okay.
And they burst through the home of Cassandra with a K and her GBF, Chaz. Cassandra with a K is there. She's diabetic, and that won't come up later, I'm sure. But she leaves her house and just leaves like kind of a dazed Warlock with her buddy Chaz.
Whoa,
Yeah?
whoa.
Nothing happens.
The Warlock, Lucius Malfoy,
Yeah.
busts into their house.
Yeah.
Breaks open a window, busts in a window.
Yeah.
There's glass everywhere, and she seems completely unfazed by the fact that there's glass everywhere. Mm-hmm. She's just wandering around in her slibby socks. And also, Her acting sucks.
What? Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Lucius sees Chaz's Scorpio ring, but unfortunately Chaz can't take it off because it's stuck or something. And Lucius, being the helper that he is, he's like, "Oh, allow me." And then he helps him.
He cuts his finger off, and then there is no blood anywhere. You recently chopped off the tip of one of your fingers, and it bled for like 4 days.
Yeah, but I'm anemic. Chaz is fine.
Come on.
Chaz is, what's the opposite of anemia?
I would have respected this movie more if they just had blood squirting fuck all everywhere, like Lost Boys. There was like a little squirt on his shirt, and that's it.
Because Chaz knows to apply pressure. He knows what's up.
Oh, he didn't know to get the fuck out of the room.
No, he understood that Lucius, the Warlock, was a helper.
Okay.
You know what Mr. Rogers says? Find the helpers.
Well, do not.
He feels like super bad about it, so then he decides to give Chaz a kiss.
If I was to die by getting my face sucked off by Lucius Malfoy...
He does chop his tongue off.
He does, yeah. Because when I first watched it, I was like, this doesn't seem like a bad way to go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden his tongue is in the
Chaz
sink.
wasn't screaming or anything. He seems like he was okay with it too.
Yeah, because they took his face off.
The cops show up at the diner where Cassandra with a K works to tell her that her poor best friend is dead.
I was sitting in a diner and your friend has got his tongue cut out. Holy shit, the homophobia is real in this movie.
What homophobia? She has a gay best friend.
Yeah, and
that she has a roommate that she loves.
Well, yeah, and then they're like, what did they say? It's like something like, you said he was gay, like, not queer, or something like that. And then she says, and I guess in his defense, she says, and I quote, he doesn't dick little boys in the bathroom.
Yeah, he's not into that.
Because that's what gay guys are into?
Because that's what she thinks that they think that gay guys are into. She is totally against their homophobia, for sure.
Dude.
And she's not going to give them any information. She's like, fuck these homophobic cops. I'm out.
No, that is a terrible part to this movie.
The Warlock is stepping up to a fake-ass psychic. It's Mary Woronov.
That's a very phallic crystal that she brings out.
Yeah,
She's just
is.
like, she's two-cupping it.
Yeah,
and like
is.
carrying it. I'm like showing you right now.
Yeah. you're like the shake weight commercial.
That's how she was with this crystal. Like,
Yeah. Well, she's also like super into it, and I get it. And I'm marching right next to her.
This isn't a woman's march.
Yeah, well, says you. Well, he wants her to channel the spirit for him, and I think it's Zemiel.
Yeah, she does.
Samuel.
Samuel?
It's Satan. She tries her best to fake her way through it. I don't know anything about that, but she tries. The real Samuel Satan, he actually comes through.
Oh, is this where they say something was thirded? The
that
book.
what they said?
Yes, I have it in quotes on my. The book was thirded.
Oh, like in Split into Threes?
Yeah, but thirded is not a
Cool.
word.
Oh, it is now. I'm going to use it all the time.
Thirded?
Yeah.
Say thirded and don't sound stupid.
Thirded.
You sound stupid.
Oh, man. Samuel Satan is like, I want my shit back. I need you to get it for me.
Samuel Satan.
Yeah, he's like, Tony. Well, he needs the Grand Grimoire, and it's a book that will undo creation. But apparently it's been thirded. I like when the Warlock is like, he's like, yeah, cool, great. I can definitely get that for you. But, what's in it for me? And you know what I thought of? Was Roman in Succession. He's like, on the plane, he's like, oh, I'm not in it. What's in it for me? But what is in it for me?
Everyone, if you've not watched the show Succession, trust me, watch it.
He promises that if Lucius does a good job, he'll be like, like the CEO of hell or something.
You can't be the chief financial officer because you're shit with money.
I think he probably like strings them along, kind of like Logan does on Succession.
No. You're totally gonna be the CEO.
Well, then he cuts out the psychic's eyes because they're going to lead him to 3 pieces. So I know you have some thoughts on this, but before you get to that, can I just say that's not what they were originally going to go with?
Wait. They had another idea.
Yeah, it's worse.
That had to have been worse. So they went to with the eyeballs?
Well, eyeballs were still involved.
Okay.
Actress Mary ripped open her ripped open her blouse to reveal the eyes of Satan. She rips open and they're like in place of her nipples.
Shut up.
So the eyes of Satan are like boop, boop, boop.
You're making that up.
No. And then after mouthing the words of the devil, like she freezes and then the warlock pushes her body down and like Terminator 2 like shatters her. And then like stomps on her to reveal the eyes. And they cut it, but like they couldn't use it because whenever they would test screen it, people would just like break out into laughter because they had to reshoot everything. Lucius and Mary, they never shot a scene together. So you don't see them actually in the scene together. It's just like you see one, you see the other.
I bet she was pissed.
I get it.
Because he can get it.
But you know, she's still a fucking professional. And she really made me believe that she was like looking at him. But at one point, they didn't actually cut it out. And he's standing over her shattered body.
That scene is ridiculous. The eyeballs, they're like the 2, what are the Flotsam and Jetsam from Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
Ursula's helpers.
Ooh, I love that.
That he then carries
They're
around.
adorable.
He's like, okay, go guide me.
Look how gentle he is with them.
He just cup the ball.
Well, Cassandra with a K has to go back to the scene of the crime because she could get her insulin and some stuff. Yeah, just stuff.
No, she is frantically, allegedly, trying to leave because her best friend, who is gay, not queer, made sure to clarify that, it has been killed. She's packing everything, including a prom dress, a gigantic prom dress.
That's kind of her aesthetic, though. That's what she has. She dresses. She is, like I said earlier, she did pack a slinky. Someone is here, and it's McMullet.
Who looks fabulous.
Yeah, he does.
No, he looks ridiculous. Can we get to the part where McMullet is trying to explain to Cassandra with a K about the Warlock?
Yeah.
Do you remember how he described him?
Blonde?
No, I've got it.
Ponytail.
No.
Earring.
He's the rudest Warlock that ever walked in daylight. And I just said, like, not a rude Warlock.
You know what? He's focused. The Warlock shows up. And super convenient. It turns out one of the grimoire pieces is actually in Cassandra's house because Chaz had super fucking good taste in furniture. And he had an antique piece. And that antique piece contained a piece of the grimoire. That's probably why Satan, Satan, like, transported him specifically to this location. He's like, I'm going to give you a head start. Here's your first one. Go. It's like The Amazing Race.
If it was me, I would have been like, you're not taking me to no secondary location. I watched the John Mulaney special. And then the worst thing you could possibly think to do is to make her 40. I'm sorry.
2 decades every day. For her, which he already established, he probably could sense that about her, that she has some fear of growing older. I get it.
She's 20.
Yeah.
No 20-year-olds have no sense of getting older.
Maybe she's an old soul. And she understands.
If she was an old soul, she wouldn't care about being 40, which,
No, she
by
knows
the
what's
way,
coming. She knows what's coming.
Is not old.
Okay, well, Lucius busts up an antique, swipes the pages, steals her bracelet, because that bitch loves some drip. He took the ring, he took her bracelet, he's got an earring situation going on. He loves jewelry, and I find that wonderful. Girl, he's like Hoggle from Labyrinth.
Whoa.
We'll go over that someday. He likes jewelry.
No. Hoggle,
Yeah?
actually tries to do some good. This bitch accessorizes from head to toe, including the black ribbon he has in his hair. There is no way he's wearing a multicolored blue bracelet.
What? Everybody knows that if you're dressing all in dark, you have a minimal wardrobe, and then you can have those statement pieces.
I don't think so.
That bracelet was a statement piece.
Yeah, and you know what it said?
Yeah? What?
Don't wear me.
Well, she finds out from McMullet that she has to get her bracelet back in order to break the spell, or else she's going to be dead. And it's not great news from
She
him.
had no interest in going after him to save the world, but she's like, I need to fix my face.
She's 20. Lori Singer was she was a little difficult to deal with.
Her acting was difficult to deal with.
Oh, she was a little bit of a trouble on set. According to the internets,
Okay,
and everybody else that surrounded the movie, she was difficult, and she turned down the makeup of the FX artist. It was of Carl Fullerton. It was totally tested and approved and everything, but on the day of shooting, she refused to be made up as like a 40-year-old woman, and she would not wear any prosthetics. So he had to use like just different like makeup techniques and shadowing and stuff, and a gray wig.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the 60-year-old needed the prosthetics. There's no way to get around it, but she agreed to that, but she refused to have anything near her nose and her eyes.
Oh, God. Was this before or after Footloose?
After.
This was after Footloose?
Yeah.
Wow.
This was 89.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, McMullet also explains to Cassandra with K that salt can harm the Warlock, Lucius.
Yeah, he explains that as he's chewing on a piece of leather that he keeps dipping in salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Well, he's 17th century. Uh-oh. The Warlock finds an unbaptized boy.
Oh, my God.
The scene is so funny.
The scene where the kid's playing the video game and they're like on the swing next to each other?
Yeah.
That's followed up with him making flying potion.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, flying potion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also...
This movie is fucking savage.
Okay, and also, anytime I'm going to tell you to stop moving forward, I'm going to say, pray wait.
I hope so.
Anytime I'm like, if you like start walking ahead of me or if you start talking from me, pray wait.
God, I hope you do. You know what's fun? I don't know if you watched it with like the I think it's called like X-ray or whatever on your TV, but I paused it because I had to pause a lot.
Wait, what is that?
It shows you like the cast.
Oh,
like when you pause.
No, I didn't. I watched it with closed captioning because
No,
I'm old.
but if you have to pause it, it will tell you like it just pops up. I think because it's on Amazon.
Oh,
and they do that. Like it'll pause. So it's like Julian Sands is this.
We do
person.
not love Amazon, by the way.
No, we do not. But so do you know how that kid was listed?
No.
Just as little boy. So you know what I thought of?
Tiny boy, little boy, I want to touch you, boy.
If you only knew.
Okay, so can I tell you that flying ointment is actually like a real thing. It's like a hallucinogenic ointment, and it was used by witches, and that was part of the recipe, was the skin of an unbaptized child. That's straight out of lore. So,
Pray wait. What type of ointment?
Flying. McMullet is busy tracking the Warlock, Lucius, and she ages another 20 years. It is hilarious. Remember that, like, she refused to have that, like, prosthetic? They did the best they could.
I mean, it's
with a
so silly.
difficult actress.
Okay.
You know, she was difficult, but I mean this, she really legitimately has good chemistry with Richard E. Grant.
She's not a good actress.
What?
She's not. There are a couple parts, and this is not a pro. There are a couple parts where she handles her line fine.
Yeah.
Which I guess is your minimum expectation, but she's not good.
When she called him a banana brain, I totally, like, believed it.
It was so ridiculous.
Well, after this, the Warlock ends up in a barn, and he's reading the grimoire, and his, like, sitting there reading was like watching you read a new book. I swear to God. It was so happy to just sit there and read. Did you see the Mennonites landscaping?
Listen.
Fucking hell.
I would like to talk about this situation.
The sitch?
Yeah.
What sitch?
Okay, so the elder Mennonite
Yeah.
clearly sees the signs,
Yeah, he does.
but he doesn't tell any of his family that that's what's going on.
He's trying to. His son's like too super uber focused on the task at hand.
No, he doesn't tell them until McMullet and Cassandra with a K show up, and they're trying to explain to the elder's kids what's going on, and they're like, no, and then the elder comes out and he's like, yes, I've seen the signs.
No. He came out to him in the barn, and
He was not clear.
yeah, but I mean, because he was being the younger. Was being really dismissive with the elder.
But the elder doesn't say, like, no, but for reals, we're being cursed right now.
Y'all know the signs.
Right.
Well, that's why he had to, like, really spell it out for him, which he did by painting a gigantic hex on the barn.
Right.
He and McMullet and Cassandra with a K trap the Warlock, Lucius, in the attic.
Wait.
Yeah?
That's after he convinces them to put pennies in their mouth.
He's a prankster.
I would love at the end of this movie for Cassandra with the K to be like, thank God those pennies in the mouth worked. And McMullet was like, I was fucking with you. Those pennies did nothing.
That is fucking you every time you, like, convince me of something.
I wish you would be like, I thought it'd be funny if you guys put pennies in your mouth.
You almost went full Carol Baskets there.
The pennies do nothing. I have one more question.
Yeah.
And how is a horse sweating in the morning a sign?
It's a sign.
What if it's hot?
No, not in the morning. Not in the Marne.
I'm going to ask our cousin Marie, our angel cousin Marie, who has a horse.
God.
I'm going to ask
She
her.
could have answered so many questions
know.
about this entire movie.
I know. We should have. It's our fault. We should have
Why the fuck
consulted.
were we like, hey, is this a real thing with witches? Is this a real
I
thing
know.
with witches?
We failed.
Damn it.
Our cousin Marie's an angel.
You know what? Let's ask her all these questions and then we can put like her answers after the fact.
Okay, but I really want to know about this horse sweating thing because it seems like in a hot place, a horse sweating in the morning would not be that weird.
No, I think it's coolest in the morning.
Okay.
McMullet does give them clear fucking instructions. Keep the pennies in your mouth.
Because it's funny to me.
And don't look at Lucius in the... See this? Don't look at him in the eyes.
Right.
Okay.
Have we gotten to the plastic bat part yet?
When he's in the attic. Oh my
The
God,
plastic
I was
bat.
rolling.
I have the plastic bat. Blah, ha, 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 ha. That is the most ridiculous bat.
That was so funny.
It's ridiculous.
You know what? We know what the best part about that is? Is how fucking proud McMullet looks that he got him.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, the Warlock is still in there, but he drank that little boy. So he's like, I'm flying.
So ridiculous. I just have the flying is crazy.
Dude, it's so good. I like when the Warlock's on the roof. He chucks the gigantic weather vane at McMullet. And then McMullet uses his whip and then, like, you know, he snatches the Warlock's ankle and then, like, the Warlock flies off, dragging poor McMullet behind him.
It's so ridiculous.
And then McMullet fucking javelins him with the weather vane. And he brings him to the ground. And he's trying to get all those, like, weird nail toe, you know, shackle things. And Cassandra's, like, frantically trying to get her bracelet. And she's doing fuck all.
And she still has pennies in her mouth, by the way.
Atta girl. Fucking focused on the plan. But unfortunately, the Mennonite looks the Warlock, Lucius, in the eyes. And he starts bleeding out of his eyes.
Yeah.
He did warn him. And then McMullet's like, here, just take a hammer. And then you put nails in his footprints, which is an awesome scene. I love it. Driving a nail to a witch's footprint was like a really big deal. Like a witch could also like scoop up someone's footprint and take it home and like, you know, like manipulate the person.
Oh.
They could also do it with a shadow too. They could like put a nail in someone's shadow and then like make them not move. You have to admit that with Cassandra with a K, like when she nails it for the first time and she's like, she just hears him go, ah! And she's like, yes!
It's so ridiculous.
It's so funny. I love it so much. I like that clever little cookie drives a nail into where his head was. on the ground because it totally worked. And then she starts like chasing down the Warlock in a like it was
so
like a
this-
moving train because he
You
jumped in
know
the train.
this scene is ridiculous.
She wants her bracelet.
I know, but she's the terrible age of 60 at this
Can
point.
you imagine such
How
a
she
thing?
can even move, I don't know.
Why is she not in an infirmary?
The fact of the matter is, though, if you watch this scene, it looks like she can barely move, and yet somehow she catches up with the moving train. It's ridiculous.
Well, she's young again. Yay!
What's Terry not?
She Terry not. She got her bracelet. Well, McMullet tells young Cassandra with a K that if the Warlock, Lucius, gets the third piece of the grimoire, he can speak the name of God and undo creation. Oh no!
But then this bitch is like, I'm sorry, I only agreed to hang around until I got young again.
They go to the airport. And they're going to fly to Boston because that's where they know the last piece to be. That's where they think it's going to be. And then Cassandra with a K and McMullen are arguing over like the giant weather vane that he wants to take on the plane because this was a different fucking
Does
time.
no one notice the gigantic weather vane he's carrying?
This was a different time.
Like,
This
how
is
did he-
pre 9/11.
But I'm sorry, but in what... I get that at one point you could smoke on an airplane. When could you ever carry a weather vane?
Didn't the bride carry a sword on the plane in Kill Bill?
Listen, I don't know that we need to use a Quentin Tarantino movie as our basis for what can and can't happen in a movie.
Used to be. Oh, you know what? This plane also has a double decker. I mean, it's also like a second floor. People are smoking on this plane. Things. It was a different time. We could get away with a lot in the 80s. It was fucking awesome.
It's because of all the cocaine. I kept thinking when so McMullet was freaking out on the plane.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking about Bridesmaids. Like, there's a colonial woman on the plane.
You know what I was thinking about? Oh shit, that's me.
Oh yeah.
Like all like sweaty and cagey.
What's
Like,
what's
get
that noise?
the fuck off.
What's that noise?
Get me out of here. They end up in Boston. Mm-hmm. And then they go to a church.
Where still no one has a Boston accent.
No. Well, they go to the church where there's a pastor, and a lot of times pastors they travel to different,
here
they
we
get
go.
relocated.
Wait, I have a question from the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Do they get tornadoes in California? There was a
yeah.
news report at the beginning of, towards the beginning of the movie. Tornadoes in in California. They don't get tornadoes in California.
I don't know.
They get earthquakes.
Yeah.
They don't get tornadoes.
Maybe.
They don't.
You know, it snowed in Hawaii this last year.
What the fuck does that have to do with a tornado in
I'm
California?
saying there's crazy weather all over the place. McMullet and Cassandra with a K, they go to a cemetery because that's where they know the last pages are going to be buried, and they're in a tomb. And oh no,
But she's trying to get the papers out of that. That's so
because the tomb is McMullet's.
I know, but
Oh, that's sad. God, that would be really fucked up. I would not handle that well if I went to some place and like the tomb was mine. Ugh.
why didn't she just pull the papers out? Like if you
She tried that.
Oh, come on.
She gave it a tug.
Oh, come on. I'm sorry. You're telling me as at the ancient age of 60, she was able to catch up to a train?
Yeah.
But she couldn't pull some papers out of a skeleton's hand?
Excuse me, pray wait. She was trying to be delicate with the body because she understood she needed to respect McMullet because he was having a difficult time with this.
I'm sorry.
Very difficult time. looking
Time's
at
a
his-
factor. We know from multiple times during this movie that one way to stop Lucius is to do the nail in the foot thing.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he wear shoes? He doesn't. He
The
doesn't.
Warlock?
Yeah, Lucius doesn't wear shoes throughout this whole movie.
Oh, for real?
Correct.
Oh,
He takes the
bohemian.
time to put a black ribbon in his hair to match the outfit, but he doesn't wear shoes.
Maybe he was just in a revival of Jesus Christ Superstar.
No,
And they didn't do shoes.
No.
Lots of ribbons, though.
Nope. He stopped and got eyeballs from a fake psychic.
Well, yeah, you gotta stop for the eyeballs.
Couldn't he have grabbed her shoes?
But this was after that.
But he's not wearing shoes through this whole movie.
He was wearing shoes during that.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, huh?
No, he wasn't.
Can we have a bet?
Yes.
Oh, what's the stakes?
You have to give me the pro on one of your movies you don't want to give me. That's how.
No,
No,
But
that's
he's wearing shoes throughout this entire movie.
yes. If there is a single scene where he is wearing shoes, then you get one of my pros.
I'm gonna vomit.
Okay, you are, because you're wrong.
I like when they're like kind of facing off, and the Lucius makes a crack about McMullet's dead wife, and that's not uncalled for. But McMullet trades the pages for Cassandra with a K, but tells Lucius that he has to pick them up off the ground by hand. No magic.
Right.
Okay. He gets a hold of some consecrated dirt, and he's like fucking pocket sands him in the face. That was it.
No.
Yeah.
It can't be. Because in my very accurate notes, I've got, he's throwing up fire.
Yeah.
It's just like has a Team America moment with fire.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
He sticks his whole fist down McMullet's throat, and usually you have to pay extra for that sort of thing. But
you don't get throated for free.
oh, in this economy? Well, he makes him puke lava fire. And then he fucking tosses Cassandra into a nearby lake. He's like, Prince.
You have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Well, luckily she's scrappy, and she remembers that she has diabetes, and she's got insulin needles in her jacket. And the Warlock starts putting the pages together, and he says something like I don't know. I didn't write it down. Some bullshitty blah, blah,
Is
blah.
Wilford Brimley still alive?
No, surely not.
Because if we lost Bob Saget and that oatmeal fucker is still alive.
Check your blood sugar. Check it often. Just as he's finishing up his monologue, which he was working out so that he could audition for Jesus Christ Superstar, which we talked about earlier.
Get off the stage.
Cassandra with a K fucking stabs him in the neck with her needles filled with salt water, which for him means actual fireworks come out of him, and he bursts into flames. And then he flies in air, and then his bloody corpse mean mugs her one last time. It falls to the ground. What a dramatic little bitch.
Question.
Yeah.
As I pointed out earlier,
Yeah.
McMullet was throwing up fire for 12 minutes.
Yeah.
How could he do that and then Lucius gets stabbed in the neck and not be able to make it through that?
Because it's salt. Salt is deadly for a warlock.
Oh, and fire's not deadly for a human?
I think it's real fire. I think it's warm.
Like in Dune, where the Mother Superior or whatever is heat upon heat.
Yeah. Put your goddamn hand in a goddamn box of pain. Well, I like when his skull even starts to move on the ground. And then McMullet fucking curb stomps it. Everything goes back to normal. And he goes back to his time, but a message magically appears on his tombstone for her. Unfortunately, those pages still have to be dealt with. So Smarty Party Cassandra takes the pages and then she buries them in the ground of the salt flats, the Bonneville salt flats, the world's largest salt deposit. That was pretty clever.
Okay.
And that's the end of the movie. You're off the hook. All right.
I loved that movie so much, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't painful to write negative things about it.
Yeah.
But my heart wasn't really into it, even though, as I said at the very beginning, if someone said, I don't understand why you love this movie, it's not good, I would be like, okay.
It's campy.
But
it's so
good.
enjoyable. It's really, really, it really is.
You can't take these movies seriously. You have to take them for what they are.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
Well, nobody wants to defend things that they like that other people might not like, but we're brave. And, we're willing to do it. So
We're so brave.
We're so brave. So brave. Well, how did we do, everybody?
Tell us.
Yeah, what did we miss? Please feel free to contact us and let us know. We're friendly, and we're at Split Happens Pod on all the socials.
Yep.
And also, while we're in the asking mood, can you give us a like or subscribe? Whatever you're feeling, just go with your heart. See you next time, everyone.
Bye, everybody.